Chapter 6. Lu Yi walked around in Chen Ping's house. In the rented room, the furniture is basically foldable and movable, except for the wardrobe. The wardrobe does not match the overall atmosphere. It is likely left by the landlord or previous tenants, but a single woman. What made her rent this residence that does not meet her economic level and is far away from the workplace? Expensive and inconvenient. ᎢℋᎪNN has a lot of stupid money. ᎢℋᎪNN followed him and asked. No, there is a deeper reason. Lu Yi pushed open the bedroom door, only to see a large floor-to-ceiling window in the bedroom. The window is bright and clean, with excellent lighting, and there is a very unique photo wall. Lu Yi carefully observed it. After a while, he suddenly raised his eyebrows. Well, it's kind of interesting. ᎢℋᎪNN said helplessly to his subordinate. I said, you stayed back. You look like someone who is about to die. You don't have to follow us. Lu Yi's eyes shot out from behind the spectacles, showing a bit of empty indifference. There is a treatment tool called box garden therapy in the psychoanalytic school, which usually brings the patient in front of a large sand table, so that the patient can be more efficient. There are a variety of toy models to choose from, and therapists analyze their psychological projections through their works, although I always think that psychoanalysis is similar to the big dance. But some theories can still be used as a reference. For example, they think that a picture, the content consciousness on the right is the mainstream, while the subconscious is the mainstream on the left. Miss Chen Ping's photo wall is handmade by herself, and the order is from the top right to the bottom left. This is likely to be a kind of depression and entanglement. She has no self-confidence and her self-evaluation is not high. She can hardly find a few sunny days in a series of landscape photos, especially at the end of the lower left corner. The gloomy atmosphere is very obvious, ending with clusters of tangled branches in the depths of the dense forest at dusk. Gloomy and chaotic. ᎢℋᎪNN struggled to extract some valid information from his rambling tirade, the one that has been reported frequently in recent years. Antisocial. It's not exactly. Lu Yi bent down and carefully observed the photos in the lower right corner. Regardless of whether others could hear or not, he said in a voice almost to himself, Social personality disorder is the extreme embodiment of the protector personality in 9 types of personality. Indifferent, unsympathy, and some violent tendencies. But Chen Ping seems she is even cowardly, tends to rely on and escape from reality. ᎢℋᎪNN raised his eyebrows, took out his notebook from his pocket, and wrote a few strokes, and then. The kids' clothes just now were also very strange. Lu Yi said. Don't many perverted killers in the legend have the habit of collecting victims' personal belongings? What's strange? It's not a souvenir. The bathroom is near the entrance, and she folded the clothes neatly and put them at the entrance. You know, the place the entrance is very special in housing. It is a transition from public space to private space, and it is usually delivered by express. The cargo staff will put things here. Usually people don't think of it as purely private territory. Chen Ping put the victim's clothes neatly folded here. She wants to wash the clothes clean, and then give people the illusion of returning it. ᎢℋᎪNN put down his pen and lowered his shoulders, with a helpless expression on his face. Brother, there is a murder just now. Please be more normal to me, don't bullshit. Kill someone and return their clothes, are you sick? Of course she wouldn't do that, I mean it might be a latent wish. Lu Yi said here, and suddenly frowned. I still think it's strange that she shouldn't be able to do the killing and breaking the corpse thing. ᎢℋᎪNN, not only did she kill and shred the corpse, but I guess she might have gone out to throw the corpse now. What do you think about this? If she wants to throw the corpse, she will definitely not be here. Lu Yi said decisively, it can't be a completely unfamiliar place. She must be very familiar with the place, and at the same time, it must be far enough away from her residence. Give her a subtle sense of security. ᎢℋᎪNN narrowed his eyes, for example, near the company where she works. Liu seemed to be in a trance again. He didn't answer, but he didn't deny it either. ᎢℋᎪNN immediately raised his voice and said, "Search the vicinity of the office building where ᎢℋᎪ's company is located, especially the large garbage disposal centers and places with water. Hurry up. There is a park about 200 meters from the back door of ᎢℋᎪ's company. There is an artificial lake in the park. There are only occasional activities on weekends. Usually, no one goes there." Liu's direction is very accurate. Chengping is also very easy to find. It took less than 20 minutes from the start of the search to catch someone by the lake in the small park. The fact is that the criminal's psychological endurance is extremely weak. Several police cars drove over, and the arresting police comrade had not had time to lift his legs and get out of the car, and Chengping herself had already collapsed. Her spirit was under great pressure, her face was full of panic, her pupils were scattered, and her chest was heaving violently. She neither wanted to run nor resist, but held her head and slowly squatted down on the spot. Liu stretched out a finger and poked ᎢℋᎪ's shoulder. "Hey, look at her actions." ᎢℋᎪ felt goosebumps from being poked by him with the same strength as itching, so he gave a jerk and turned his head nervously. "What?" She supported her face with the base of her palm, spread her fingers out, like a child's actions when their fingers are soiled. She felt a strong sense of guilt, and her mental state was also very unstable. This kind of neurotic manifestation, it will make children instinctively fear and avoid. You say how someone like her took a 7 or 8-year-old boy away from the eyes of the child's mother without knowing it. ᎢℋᎪ frowned, opened the car door and walked out, shouting at his colleagues, "See if the water is deep, can you fish it out? Well, handcuff this woman first." Others try to find the body in the water, it should have just been thrown away not long ago. After speaking, he bent down slightly and said to Liu through the half-pulled car window, "I agree with your suspicions temporarily, provided that we don't find conclusive evidence." Liu's lenses reflected the light, and he sat motionless in the car without moving. The investment in this small park is not large, and the water in the artificial lake is really not deep. In less than half an hour, the police pulled out a black plastic bag wrapped in 3 layers from the pool. ᎢℋᎪ squatted down, looked up at Liu who was sitting in the police car not far away, put on gloves, and opened the plastic bag. Inside is a pile of broken bones and flesh that have been soaked and scattered. The forensic doctor accompanying the team immediately trotted over, and after a while, he raised his head and said, "It's probably a human, and further tests are needed." Then what else is there to say? ᎢℋᎪ stood up and waved his hand, "Take her away." End of chapter 6.